What's your creepiest real-life story? About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion late at night. The drive was about 2 hours, and I hadn't stayed over because I needed to be up for work the next day. Most of the drive was on dark, isolated roads, surrounded by dense trees and bushes, just the kind of roads you see in horror movies. After about 45 minutes, I suddenly started feeling extremely tired. You know that moment when you're fine 1 minute, and the next you feel like you can barely keep your eyes open? Yeah, that happened to me. I knew I wouldn't make it much longer, but there wasn't anywhere safe to pull over and sleep. Eventually, the exhaustion became overwhelming, and I did something questionable. I pulled over onto the grass by the side of the road behind some bushes, hoping to hide my car from anyone driving by. The road wasn't completely empty. There were cars passing by every few minutes, but I felt too tired to care. I made a mental note of the time, 11:22, and fell asleep. Sometime later, I woke up to a strange scratching sound. I checked the clock. It was 11:50. The sound stopped after a few seconds, and because I was still exhausted, I just rolled over and tried to sleep again. But then, it happened again, only this time it was worse. I woke up to the same scratching noise, and it was now 12:40. This time I was really freaked out. Why would an animal come back after almost an hour? I glanced in my rearview mirror and just caught a glimpse of something running back into the forest. My mind went straight to the hook killer, the guy who scratches cars and then attacks when someone investigates. That was enough for me. I quickly decided to leave. I drove a short distance, barely 100 yards, and came around a bend. To my horror, there was a car parked off to the side of the road with the driver's side door wide open. I slowed down, scanning the area. No one was in the car, but when I looked in my rearview mirror, I froze. A man came sprinting around the corner, screaming at me to get out of my car. He was shouting things like, "Hey, hey, get the fuck out of your car now!" That was it. I slammed my foot on the gas and sped off, never looking back. To this day, I have no idea who that guy was, but one thing's for sure: never, ever sleep on a deserted